There will be peace. Hang on a minute. So we got remove. Yes. 1 second, guys. Let me just try and add this on. Window capture. Hang on. 1 second, guys. We need to just get the right. I'm just trying to get the video on it. So if we put that up there, and we put that there. 1 second, guys. I'm doing my Technicolor stuff. Okay. Right, I think this should work. Yes. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Our technical difficulties are being fixed. There will be peace in the valley for me. There will be peace. Right, let's just get it a bit bigger so you guys can see it good. Okay. I think that's it. There we are. That looks good. That looks good. So let's just wait for you guys to get on. Stacy, can you hear me okay? Stacy, can you hear me okay? Angie, can you hear me okay? We'll just wait a few minutes for everyone to catch up. And I'm gonna okay. Right, that's good. There we are. Let's just let everyone come on. Okay. Because I have to do this, otherwise I find if it goes over half an hour, people don't tend to watch. I do want people to watch this. This is important because it shows just how good Elvis is, you know, so it's important to me. So in case you just joined us, it's Defending Elvis Presley. We're doing a video showing the good of Elvis. This is part 2. This was sent to me by Julie's. Thank you so much, Julie's, for sending this to me. Right, it's just I'll let you guys quickly lapse. Just right, okay. Okay, that's most of you back on. I'm just going to share part 1. I always put on the Defending Elvis Presley Facebook page. I always put it on there. And I put it on the Defending Elvis Presley chat as well. And I usually post it on my name. I have my name, obviously. I have a Facebook name, Louis McCreedys. So I always put it on there as well, just so that everyone can watch these. A lot of people watch these through the night. So I'll give you an example. Like now we'll get around 100 views around over the next hour or so. By tomorrow, it can be as high as 500-600 views overnight. So a lot of you watch these when I'm asleep. A lot of you watch my live streams when I'm asleep. Right, let's press play, guys. So we are doing this because Julie sent it me. We have been doing exposing the fake Elvis fan channels on YouTube, which we will still keep doing. But I do want people to also see the good videos that show the good in Elvis, show just how beautiful Elvis was. Let's go, guys. Let's press play. Obviously, I'm hoping you guys can hear me okay. I think all is good. Let's press play. We've got about 27 minutes left. Let's keep going.
Have any idea?
Elvis's journey for spiritual growth took him on various paths, and one that stayed with him throughout his life was his dedication to the Eastern practice of karate.
What do you do for relaxation? You said you study
karate. If you can relax doing this, I don't know.
The guys.
So, you know, just so we know, it's everyone knows, I think, Elvis took karate very seriously. Yeah, he was very good at it. He took it very seriously. We know Mindy Miller. She has joined us before on our live streams. We're big fans of Mindy Miller. Let's listen to what she has to say.
I started doing some karate moves and got me interested in that. So immediately I started taking classes in karate, and he said, well, you need to go to Ed Parker, and you need to go to this one, and you need to take Kempo. And he started talking about all these forms of karate. It was Shotokan, Kempo, Jiu-Jitsu, and how, you know, very into it he was. And he loved to, you know, he loved to share with people what his personal interests were.
I remember he scared the heck out of my mother once because she saw him try to break a board in half with his head, but he succeeded.
With his head? Was it head or hand?
And he was a tough guy. His hands were all cut up from the karate when he experienced it, and kept on trying to break boards, but he didn't care because he just had a mission. He was a man on a mission, but he also was extremely well-read, very much into philosophy and spiritual books.
Elvis read literature about
Extremely well-read, very into philosophy, into spiritual books, into religious books. We all know this, don't we, guys?
Eastern faiths. Elvis questioned everything. So when I think of Elvis, I think of this guy who was looking for answers. And when I think of that,
we know about obviously the documentary, The Searcher. Is The Searcher on the Disney Channel? Have any of you guys watched The Searcher? I have watched it. Very, very long. I've only watched it once.
Most of the people I know are looking for answers. You know, we're just trying to get from A to B and do and try to get there without hurting anybody and trying to be the best person we can and maybe leave the world a little bit better place than where we found it. Many people don't know he was a well-read man. If he didn't know something, he'd read about it, check it up, and find out.
And I do think the fans all know this now. I think this is starting to get out now, isn't it? People understood Elvis was very intelligent, a very knowledgeable, wise man.
The internet these days would be an unbelievable thing for him. He could find out everything he wants to know while he started researching world religions.
I noticed that one time he wore a necklace or neck piece, and one of them had a cross and the other was the Star of David. I understand that when he was a young man and his folks had to go to work, they would leave him with people that were Jewish, and I think he wore the Star of David for them.
Yeah, I think that was a very strong side of Elvis, the spiritual side. And in the house that we built, I had a chapel in that house, and Elvis had bought me a cross to put in that chapel. And he was always amazed that someone's got a little chapel in their home. But he was a very spiritual guy and talked about religion a lot, had all kinds of thoughts about religion, I mean, pro and con. And I guess some of the impact of that is in the little thing he used to wear around his neck. He had a cross, and he had Star of David, and he had, you know, he kind of covered the bases with everything. He didn't want to be left out of heaven on a technicality of any kind.
He loved all.
I've heard this a few times. Elvis had an open mind with all religions. Obviously, Dr. Nick there, Marianne Cook, obviously, who passed away, Elvis's private nurse, was very fond of Dr. Nick, thinks that Dr. Nick was very unfairly treated. So I wonder what your views are with Dr. Nick, guys.
All religions. He loved the Jewish religion. He used to wear a Jewish star and a cross because he didn't want to get shut out of heaven on a technicality. He used to read the Bible. He'd make up his own things. He would say, God's name is hallowed, because it says here, hallowed be thy name.
In the mid-1960s, Elvis had an experience that would change his outlook on life and his place in it.
Elvis had a classical, spiritual rebirth experience in the Arizona desert. Elvis is driving his mobile home, and I was sitting.
I've heard this a few times, guys. Let's listen to it.
Next to him, and he saw a vision in the clouds, in the sky.
He got out, and it was like in the desert, and there was a cloud formation. I mean, he saw Jesus, and he said that God spoke to him.
It really touched him, and he had this feeling that For the first time, he said that I really feel that God's alive, that God is real. I don't have to believe anymore. Now I know God exists. I've been searching my whole life, and I've had a lot of doubts. But now I know God is real. I know it. He just touched my heart.
And he
It's a big deal, guys. It's a big deal. I think this was quite a massive moment for Elvis. I've heard it mentioned quite a few times, guys.
Knew that he was going to do something really big in life, and like bigger than life, but he didn't know what it was. Little did he know that, it was going to be after death and not even in life, that he was going to become this like phenomenon.
He was an artist. He was an entertainer. And he knew who he was. And he said, hey, I'm not a preacher. I was born to make people happy, to entertain people, to sing to them, to do what I can to uplift their lives. That's what I'm all about.
Perfect words. So I'm just quickly letting more people know we're here, guys.
He spoke about God and Jesus Christ in his life, and I thought, wow, here is this wonderful, sensuous performer who gave everything he had and is entertaining, and he's able to sit and talk about God. He said, well, a lot of people have come to think of me kind of like as a god. He said, but I'm not a god. He says, there's only one God. And he said, people worship me, and it's really hard to keep up this image all the time, to be this person that they expect me to be, always perfect. He says, I'm very imperfect. And he says, I'm fighting demons all the time.
Elvis always told.
Okay, do you know what? Everything in this documentary is so good. Thank you, Julie's, for sending this to me. Almost every word is spot on. Let's listen to Joe Esposito.
I'm an entertainer. I don't think I should influence other people, my fans, with the religion or politics. That is something they have to decide on their own. Just because I'm a Christian doesn't mean all my fans should be Christian. Same thing as Democrat, Republican. Elvis never said what his politics were about, because he didn't want to influence them. And he felt that's not his job in this world. He's an entertainer. He's there to perform, sing, make people happy, but not get involved in their personal lives.
You have to respect that. And Elvis was like that, wasn't he? He didn't preach politics. We all know that interview. I'm just an entertainer, honey. I'd rather keep my thoughts to myself.
Elvis Presley decided to record some of his favorite gospel songs in 1966. And the result was the iconic album, How Great Thou Art. What's interesting is that Elvis recorded his best gospel album during the height of the radicalism of the 1960s, which was really a bold move for him to do so. The music has endured, and that album is regarded as one of the greatest gospel albums ever made. I believe that's where his love for music really started, but I also believe that's where he felt comfortable was with his beloved gospel music.
Elvis' favorite music is gospel music. It's music from the heart, because he was such a religious person, and he felt so good when he sang it. And it was so strong and emotional that that was probably his favorite music. And I think he carried that over into all his music, to sing with feeling. Elvis.
So I'm just still telling everyone that we're live, because a few people are missing. I don't want people to think that I've left them out. But what Joe Esposito, every time he speaks, he says perfect things, I think. So if there's anyone I've missed out, guys, we've still got 20 odd minutes left. And I just want you guys to know that I haven't forgotten you. Please know that I do want you guys to join in with me. So I think I've messaged everyone now.
I never sang the song twice the same way, because he always depended how he felt that day and how he put his heart into it. And that's, I think, what made Elvis such a great singer, because he put his heart and soul into every song he ever sang. He sat at piano by himself down in his house at Graceland in the music room, and you could hear him sit there singing gospel music. And I think his whole life was gospel.
I can remember, like 2 years old, when I got old enough, I started to sing in church. And
That's how you got into singing?
Well, it's one of the ways.
One of the ways.
You know. But this thing here, the gospel thing, is really what we grew up with, more than anything else.
He said, Larry, this album is going to do things that we don't even know about. this is God's music, this is spiritual. I'm not going to get out of this seat and open this mouth and use my voice to sing until I know that I'm ready. So why don't we just turn the lights down and let's just meditate. And we did. We meditated for about 30 minutes. And all of a sudden I heard Elvis say, I'm ready. Let's go. We went to the studio. And he sang that first, How Great Thou Art, first take.
How
Oh, such a beautiful, we all love it, don't we? How great thou art. And anyone joining us, thanks guys. Wow. I want to play it now, but let's keep listening.
Great Thou Art would go on to win Elvis his first Grammy. He selected each song carefully, which took him many months to complete, since he felt that this album would touch many, many lives due of the nature of it being gospel.
We've got artists now that are nominated for Grammys that get up on stage and insult people and incite riots and offend people racially, ethnically, religiously on every level. And
yeah, obviously the rap music period, which I do think has passed now, all of the really disgusting lyrics. I don't think we get that so much now, do we, guys? Things have changed, but he has a good point.
And that was not what Elvis was about. People felt good when they went to his concerts. They felt better when they left. And he wasn't about inflaming the passions of people and causing that type of situation to exist.
Though most of those around him were very supportive of his spiritual side, there was at least one person who wasn't happy with Elvis's quest for enlightenment. If someone spent a lot of time with Elvis, like Larry spent all that time going over all the books and everything, the guys would get jealous. One of them in particular would say, well, when he comes back down, he's been up there for how long? He was extremely angry because Elvis was spending so much time with Larry Geller. But that's what he wanted to do, and thank God someone was there to do something he enjoyed to keep him going.
And I think that this caused a lot of problems in Colonel Parker's mind.
So guys, what I want to do, I want to make a coffee. So while I make a coffee, I'm going to play a song. Yeah? So, and then we'll come back to this. I'll let you be quick. So I'll be quick, guys. Let's play this. That's so good. Guys, do you see that? Like, he sings that really powerful song, yeah? And then he literally blows the roof off the house. And then at the end of it, he goes, thank you, with a sweet little, gorgeous voice. He really is amazing. Oh, I'm going to have to play one more. I'm going to have to play one more, guys. One more while my coffee is boiling. That's just, I can't play too many because, oh, they were. Oh, let's have a look. No, I don't want it. Let's have a look. Let me find that one. Let's see what the...
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, Elvis Presley, 10 out of 10. You do it again. Wow. Oh, I could play them all day, guys, but I want to go through this documentary. It's simple. I want to get through it and see the end of the documentary. Okay, let's keep going, guys. It's too good.
In Elvis's life and myself. Then I don't know what he heard, but I know that it really freaked him out. And he called Elvis into a meeting and said, I hear you're on a spiritual kick and it's not going to last and you're just dreaming, and it really offended Elvis. And Elvis didn't want to talk to him for a while.
In the end, Elvis felt
Get your coffees, guys. We've still got 20 minutes left.
A sense of resentment. He acknowledged the brilliance of Colonel Parker, who had indeed launched the most remarkable and greatest career in show business history. However, as time went on, Parker lost his connection. proving to be no longer the right person to guide or manage Elvis's career. Elvis was aware of this reality and knew it. What many fans may not realize is that Elvis's sense of spiritual purpose influenced even the management of his personal finances during his lifetime. Presley was the largest private taxpayer in the U.S., as he never took a single deduction and paid the full tax every year. He expressed on multiple occasions that he believed deducting his charitable contributions would diminish their value. It wasn't a true contribution if one received something in return. I know this not through any of Elvis's close friends, but because his charitable donations exemplified the true essence of charity. The Christian sense of charity, where one gives without expecting anything in return. This perspective is truly remarkable and unique.
In any lifetime, you know, this person, he wasn't the richest person in the world, but what he had was a great deal by comparison to what most other people had, and he shared it. He shared it for charity. He gave to the top 50 charities in our city of Memphis. He gave to individuals that he knew. He supported law enforcement. He supported church organizations. He supported his family, and he supported his friends in ways.
So my daughter just got home, guys, so I've just let her in.
That they couldn't do things for themselves.
In 1964, Elvis's contributions extended beyond monetary donations. He acquired Franklin Roosevelt's presidential yacht, the Pomac, which was at risk of being scrapped. After restoring the yacht, he generously donated it to Danny Thomas's St. Jude's Hospital for Children to aid in a fundraising event. Following its charitable use, the Pomac was designated a National Historic Landmark and now serves as a floating museum. Elvis's benevolence also played a role in preserving other elements of our national history. At Pearl Harbor in Hawaii,
I think we all know this story, and I've noticed this story is on Prime. I don't know if you guys got Prime over in America, obviously England, Canada, Australia. But there's this documentary is on Prime TV on Amazon, yeah?
A significant reminder of Presley's charitable efforts can be found anchored where Battleship Row once stood.
At the time, there was no official memorial in Pearl Harbor to honor those who went down with the Arizona. Colonel Parker read about this in Los Angeles. The commission that was trying to complete the project didn't have enough money, and they needed a big fundraiser to finish it off. A lot of people had donated, but they didn't have enough money.
The solution to the dilemma was straightforward in Elvis's mind. He would do a benefit show to build the USS Arizona Memorial.
And we got a wire back from Elvis saying that he would come to Hawaii and do his first performance here after he was released from the Army. And that's how the Pearl Harbor, Arizona Memorial Benefit Concert came to be.
In 1961, when we did the Arizona Hawaii show, I'd never seen a crowd like that, of 30,000, 40,000, 50,000 people.
And the Navy had the welcoming committees for us.
So Lily, welcome Lily. I just wanted to say to Lily, how is the diet going? Obviously, we do the carnivore, the keto diet. We have our other channel, Elvis Presley Fan, on keto as well. Hopefully, I wanted to do a keto video at some point, maybe later, I'm not sure. But Lily, how is the diet going? Please let me know.
And we were just treated great. And then they put us in the Hawaiian Village Hotel, which was the most beautiful place, I guess, in the world.
So Lily, have you noticed a reduction in pain? Is your energy levels coming up? Let me know. I'm really interested.
We went to Hawaii. The first time that I went with Elvis to Hawaii was 1965 or 66 to film Paradise Hawaiian Style. And the Admiral of the Fleet took Elvis, myself, and Joe Esposito, and Charlie Hodge, and Richard Davis, and took us on a tour at Pearl Harbor itself. And the memorial that's there by the Arizona, the ship, the Arizona that's down, that's out.
So a couple of you have mentioned charities. Yeah, I know Elvis gave so much to charities, especially at Christmas. I think Susie, I think Vincenzo. Yeah, very, very, very generous man.
Elvis's donation.
Unfortunately, the United States government has seen fit to take a move in recent years that has angered many of those close to Presley during his lifetime.
I'll tell you this, since then I've been to Hawaii several times. And last time I went, we went to go out to the Arizona Memorial, and Elvis's name was not there anymore. So I asked about it, and I noticed a lot of senators and politicians, so they had taken his name down. But Elvis was kind of responsible, I'd say, along with Colonel Tom, for setting this whole thing up. They drew a lot of money for the families of the sailors that went down on the USS Arizona.
One of the challenges that Elvis encountered in his spiritual journey was that by the mid-1960s, many perceived him as an aging rocker who had abandoned his origins. Meanwhile, the rest of the world had experienced a transformation that encompassed the exploration of yoga and various esoteric practices. At the vanguard of this cultural shift were the Beatles, who embraced a profound commitment to the Maharishi Mahesh Yogi and his interpretation of transcendental meditation. In contrast, many perceived Elvis as increasingly disconnected from the prevailing zeitgeist. However, such assessments could not have been more misguided and wrong.
Self-Realization Center was started by an Indian named Yogananda, and he was the first, I believe, bring Hindu philosophy and yoga techniques to the West. The Lake Shrine is where we would go. It's a very peaceful, beautiful.
So I've actually done a few live streams on this. I know quite a lot about this topic because I did about 5 or 6 videos on this topic.
Place, and Elvis took me there one day when we got off early, and we spent the afternoon there. Went back again several times, but he introduced me to the teachings of Yogananda there and bought me all of Yogananda's books. And then you know, as we got closer, our relationship turned very spiritual, and Elvis began to share with me things he had learned, books he had read, and so our discussions became very deep and esoteric. We explored, you know, the nature of God, you know, different religions, and I spent a great deal of time. It changed my life.
We were doing a little dental surgery on Elvis. I was taking out an old broken root tip. And of course I reached for the syringe to get him numb, and he says, "What's that?" I said, "Well, I'm going to get you numb." He says, "Well, just give me a moment." He went into sort of like a trance, and at the end of the minute he said, "Okay, I'm ready." And I reached for the syringe again, and he said, "No," he said, "that won't be necessary." He had gone into some deep meditation. I said, "Come on, Elvis." I said, he says, "You go ahead. If it bothers me, I'll stop you." I went ahead, did the surgery, got the root tip out, sewed him up. He never blinked, he never moved. And when he finished, I said, "Elvis, I'm through." He says, "I never felt a thing." He could put himself into this meditative trance. He was a student of meditation, and he used it.
Towards the end of Elvis's life, he had an extraordinary library. He was a voracious reader. And he was the type of person that when he read a book, he just didn't read and just put it down. He underlined things that were important to him. He made marginal notes, and he would read every day of his life.
Elvis, being the thinker that he was, and the reader that he was, and the human that he was, you know, he wasn't obsessed his whole life about it, but yeah, he did question, and he did search, and he did read, and he did think of past lives, if you will, and he's a very bright man.
Elvis's thoughts and
So sorry, I'm trying to help Lily as well, because it's really important to me that Lily does okay, because I know Lily's been very unwell. Lily, we got your back here. We got your back.
Deeds toward others provide a redemption that he was unable to achieve in life. But ultimately, faith was unable to shield him from the demands of being the most famous person in the world.
He said that we don't pay attention, most of us, that we float through life. And I've really noticed this as time has passed on, that most people float, and it's just whatever you call getting by. And he says we have a responsibility for everybody, not just family members, but we really need to think about that. We have a responsibility for everybody.
I mean, there's this whole huge universe why us here on this earth? And he always had us looking up in the stars, and we could, I mean, you could see and you could relate, and it really, I even do that now. You know, how could it possibly be? How special are we to be here? He was a very spiritual person and very in tune with God and Jesus. It was very, very close to him. He lived it.
And the reason why, as a fan, somebody is attracted to him, or people are attracted to him, so many people, and why he still lives on is because of who he was spiritually. There are a lot of good-looking guys and gals out there in show business, and there are a lot of talented people out there, but there was only one Elvis.
I think he knew there was something more, but I think when you're in the business, you're never quite satisfied with what it gives, and that's adoration. It's a very physical. There was times when I would cry that nobody loved me for anything but my body. It was what I presented.
Sorry guys, I'm being distracted, but I am also listening as well. This is Susan Henning. I love Susan Henning, and I've seen Susan Henning's interviews. They're beautiful. Go on YouTube, guys. Listen to Susan Henning's interviews.
I think he had a restlessness of an inner peace, and he had so much to give, and I think he was looking for maybe a peace that God might have given him, and I do think he had the Lord in him, but I think it was difficult to find in the circumstances he was in.
And she's still beautiful now, isn't she, guys?
Fortunately, I think he died because that was a time when he started to get shaken and lose the faith. And he was searching desperately in his spiritual books, trying to find it again. He was still reading them, trying to get that faith reignited, but a lot of people let him down.
I went to my room. About 20 minutes later, Elvis calls. I gotta have those books, man. I gotta have those books. You brought me that book about the Holy Shroud of Turin, didn't you? I said, oh yeah, I got it at the Bodhi Tree in Los Angeles. It's a great book. We got the book over to Elvis, and that's the book.
Wow, Lily, I love that. You've just told me that you've had a whole day out of bed, you've done gardening, you've ripped out your old greenhouse, and you've made a stone wall. Come on. 2 weeks ago, well, over a week ago, you told me you hadn't left the bedroom. Wow, Lily, be proud. Let's all give Lily a big group hug from Team Elvis. Lily, you're doing this. Well done, Lily.
That Elvis died reading. His body was found on the floor in a fetal position, book clutched to his chest. That's the last thing Elvis ever read.
In his brief lifetime, Elvis touched millions with his music. But to those who knew him, his greatest legacy is not that of the superstar king of rock and roll, but of the Elvis Presley who was simply a human being.
Lily, I'm so happy for you, but you have to trust me. You have to trust me. Listen to Dr. Ken Berry on YouTube. Follow the diet, and you're going to get better and better and better and better. Your energy levels will come back. I promise you.
After Elvis passed away, my husband and I were going to church one Sunday, and it was about 6 weeks after he had died. I was just thinking about all the things we had done and the fun we had had and things like that.
And do you know, it's sad, obviously, Marion Cook, we in case you don't know, guys, we did a Marion Cook live stream this morning on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto for about an hour. It's a really good one. I think you'll enjoy it. So please go and watch that when you have time. You know, God rest her soul. Marion Cook truly loved Elvis, truly saw the good in Elvis, and praised Elvis till the day she died, 98 years old, guys.
And so on the way home from church, I told Bob, I said, pull in at Walgreens. I want to pick up a notebook. And so we did, and I got me a notebook. And he said, what are you going to do with that? And I said, well, you know, honey, I think I want to put down all I can remember about Elvis. I said, because someday I'm going to be too old.
Yeah, Chicky Blue, that sounds okay, what you just said. I mean, I'm not mad about baking powder, but the good thing is it's got butter, it's got 2 eggs, maple syrup, yeah, because it's natural, but just a treat. I wouldn't have that every day, Chicky Blue.
To remember, and I want to be able to go back and remember him.
Yeah, but Lily, you will notice as you do this diet, your pain will reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. Stick with it, okay?
You still think about Elvis. I do. And I thought he was one of the nicest guys that I'd ever met in my life.
There's not really, and I mean this.
My God, Jerry Schilling finally is in this right at the end. It's taken Jerry Schilling an hour to talk. Come on, Jerry.
No disrespect, but there's not really another person worldwide, probably outside of Jesus, that has had this effect on the world. I mean, I was just in India 2 months ago. Oh, and it's amazing. I mean...
Remember, Lily, it also clears your mind. It reduces brain fog. It reduces anxiety. It even reduces depression. Yeah, remember, you've only been doing it a week. Wait till it's been 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
The Indian Times did an article on me just because I was a friend of Elvis Presley, you know, which is amazing.
Yeah, Lily, you've said it all. I felt that I had no future. I want to do things before. I felt nothing. You were just surviving. Those days are gone. Those days are gone, Lily. Now every day is exciting. Give it a few more weeks. You will forget your age. I remember you're 60. Is that correct? In a few weeks, you will forget your age. You will feel 30. I promise you, if you stick to it, listen to Dr. Ken Berry's advice. You do need some fat. You do need some fat from meat because it's the fat in meat that gives you energy. Obviously, avocado oil is good. Olive oil is good. A bit of coconut oil is good. But you do need some fat out of your meat. You do need it for energy.
I'm very proud to be a friend of Elvis Presley.
I hope that somewhere along the line as we go down through history that...
So welcome to Amy. I just want you to know that we've been doing some video reviews today of all the fake Elvis video channels that are popping up everywhere, probably by Priscilla's PR team. But we are now doing positive video reviews. So any good videos that are showing the true Elvis, the decent man that he was, the good-hearted, generous, kind, loving man that he was, we are also reviewing those videos. This is one of them. This was recommended to me by Julie's, one of our subscribers. I'm so glad she recommended this. It's a 50-minute interview. It's got lots and lots of different people talking on behalf of Elvis, and this shows the good in Elvis. Unfortunately, Amy, we are coming to the end of it. I do have to go off in 10 minutes. But guys, this has been lovely. And isn't it great when we watch something together as Team Elvis? I want to do another keto one, but we'll see.
The things that will not be missed about Elvis. He was more than a musician. He was more than a singer. He was more than an entertainer. He was also a man of great spirituality, great character, great capacity to love, great capacity to share, and a great capacity to contribute. All of those, and that's why when the time came, an opportunity for me to do so, I named, as the mayor, I named the hospital, Elvis Presley Trauma Center. Yeah. The place where people go with the greatest amount of hurt. And I thought, what better example could we have than to name it after Elvis, because there, the hurt can be dealt with.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Beautiful.
Elvis brought a touch of magic into our lives. Is the way we put it. And when he passed away, and I told my wife, I said, the magic will now be gone. But here it is, 20 some odd years later, and it is still there.
I remember his voice sounded very pure, we started laughing to one another on the phone. And so my thoughts prior, you know, how he looked and what was going on kind of just evaporated. I let it go. Because he sounded really good. He said, well, you know, okay. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, but don't forget now. And this is the last thing he ever said to me. He said, don't forget, Larry, angels fly because they take themselves so late. We both laughed.
I've never heard that. That's the first time I've ever heard that. That is beautiful. Well, guys, the whole point of this was to show Elvis in a good light, how lovely he can be. We don't have to keep playing all the negative stuff. We're going to do a bit of both. Show the good stuff, show the negative stuff. We're going to disagree with the negative stuff. We're going to expose the lies, but we are also going to spotlight the good stuff. Okay, guys? Guys, beautiful. I mean, obviously, artificial, intelligence does this, but do you know what? It's still lovely to see Elvis and just get a sense of Elvis's spirit, the true person. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to jump over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto now. I want to quickly, let's discuss the diet for Lily. Obviously, it's important to me that we help Lily and anyone else doing the diet. So I'm going to go over to Elvis Presley Fan on Keto just for about 20 minutes. If any of you want to join me there, please join me. So I'm going to end this live stream and we're going to all jump over there. Okay, guys? So if you want to come, I'll see you on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto in a couple of minutes. Obviously, we've watched this on B Track Rolling. The YouTube channel is called B Track Rolling. Okay, guys, I've loved it. I've had the best time drinking coffee with you guys. I've absolutely loved it. It's always better when we watch something together. Okay, guys, I'll see you on the live in 3 minutes on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it.